All right. Hey, good afternoon. It's Randy coming to you from my office today because it's been raining outside, and just want to talk to you a little bit about letting life get better. This is our regular dose of Be Refreshed Life Edition, and we've been working through an Oola lifestyle platform. Now, if that doesn't mean anything to you, that's totally cool. It's a new app that's out that Tammy and I are founding ambassadors, brand ambassadors with them as well, of just helping them get this app out and about. And we've been beta testing it for probably 4 or 5 weeks. Pretty amazing, just working through these principles. And so I thought it'd be fun to bring you guys along, share it with you, let you learn some of the things that we're learning. It doesn't cost you a thing. So hope you enjoy what's happening here. But there's a great question that Tammy and I ask ourselves on a regular basis when it comes to just relationships and really in every area. How can I let it get better? And I think if you've listened long enough to these regular doses in the afternoon, you'll know that it's a great question because it reframes everything. Instead of trying to find fault in someone else, instead of trying to blame it on circumstances, we simply say, how can I let this get better? Right in the middle of some tension with the kids or whatever, you can simply ask yourself right now, what can I do to let this get better? Right? It's a game changer. And so we use it when we deal with all sorts of things in our in helping others and all the things that we do. So the Oola app is a digital framework, lifestyle framework really, that learns you as you give it input, and it helps you create balance in the 7 vital areas of life. And if you think about it, these are all the 7 areas that all of us juggle and try to do as well as we can, right? There's the issue of fitness. All of us want to be healthy, not just physically healthy, although who doesn't want that, right? To be physically healthy, strong, to be able to do what you want to do in life from a physical standpoint. We also want to be emotional healthy, right? Where we're not our mood isn't up and down and all of those issues. We also want mental health. I don't want to be overwhelmed with stress and anxiety. And so that fitness area is a crucial area of our life. And we simply have been asking ourselves, how can I let that get better? Finances is another one. All of us love margin, right? Who doesn't love margin in your finances? Finances covers 3 areas. It covers the area of spending, and so where we spend our money. It covers where we invest in our money or save our money, and comes with where we are generous with our money. Those 3 things, no matter what your level of salary, as you grow in those 3, you're going to see life get better for you. And so we ask ourselves those questions in the area of field. That's where you work. That's your focus. It's your passion. Whether you're in a day job but you have a passion to be in this dream job, or whether you're a stay-at-home mom, or you're retired, or whatever the case may be, work from home, whatever that is, how can you let that area get better? And then we looked at the issue of faith. How can I let my faith get better? What do I need to do in the area of my prayer life, in my study time, in the disciplines of faith, in the area of utilizing my faith to benefit others, and those kind of things. And so we looked at that. And then we looked at family last week, and we talked in great length about family. Today I want to talk to you about friendship and friends, and just kind of get a read on where we are in that area. Friends are powerful, right? I mean, they either make us or break us. Friends have the power to shape who you and I become, right? Be not deceived. Bad company corrupts good morals. That's how Paul spun it in the negative. Solomon says it like this: he who walks the wise will be wise, but a companion of fools will suffer harm. And so we need to be careful about who those friendships are. We become who we hang around. And all of us have friends, right? I mean, I'm kind of a outgoing personality, influencer type. I love I see everybody as my friend. I got 1,000 friends. But in truth, we're not talking about how many people can you count on social media, or how many people can you amass a crowd if you needed them in a moment. But we're talking about friendship, which are in concentric circles, much like family. But if you know anything about Jesus, you know that he had 12 disciples. He had the crowd. So we had about 120 that were, well, I mean, there was the multitude, but just there was a crowd. And then there was a core, kind of his crew, which was his 12 plus some of the others, the women, his mother, that kind of hung around him. And then there was his inner circle, Peter, James, and John. And if you had to get down to it, it's Peter and John. That's his inner circle. Well, you and me need these same things. And so I have an inner circle of friends. And I ask you the question, who would you put in your inner circle? That's your go-to people, right? Those are the ones that, man, if something hits you hard, you get some bad news, you get some good news, you just, I got to pick up the phone, I got to call and tell them what's going on. They're your trusted friends, right? That means that you've walked long enough that you've seen the ups and downs and you trust them. You trust them as a confidant. You hold very little secrets in regard to them. They're your trusted friend. They're wise, right? I mean, if they're going to be in this group and they're going to be that, these people are going to be wise as it relates to you and your life. So there's wisdom in their life. They're attractional, right? There's something that drew you to them, and that they were drawn to you, so that you're attractional. And most likely, they're good medicine people. They're the kind of people that no matter what kind of bad day you have, you get with them, life just seems better. They're not draining you, and they're life-giving. This is not a drama circle. This is your friendship circle. If you have people in your inner circle that are always promoting drama, you should rethink. I'm not saying discard those friendships. I'm saying they might want to be moved a little further outside your circle. You want those people that are able to see your blind spots and lovingly steer you in the right path. You're blessed if you have two of those. Some of you may feel like you have more than those, but so how are you doing in that area? Just think about that. How can you let those friendships get better? What can you do? Can you call more? Can you text more? Can you interact more? What needs to happen? Can you shut up more? Right? Sometimes that helps in that area, that inner circle. Then we all have a crew or what we call a gang, right? That's a little beyond those three or four. It's kind of our gang, our posse, our tribe, whatever you want to call it. We're comfortable in this group. They're varied in personality. Some of them are introverts, some are extrovert. Some like different things. Some are people oriented, some are task oriented. Some are maybe our sports gang, and some are our maybe it's reading gang or our work gang. But we have this tribe, and they're for each other, right? I mean, that's what they're there for that. And sometimes they're our specialists. There's a plumber in the mix, and there's whatever. And hey man, I need some help, and somebody in that crowd probably has what it takes to help you out. If you go to church, that could be very possibly your small group or maybe your Sunday school class. They're not as intimate with you, and you don't necessarily tell them everything, but you love being with them and you care about them, and you want to know what's going on in their world. And so there is that interaction, right? We have several groups like that, gangs. We have a small group, and there's that gang. We have in the fall we have a gang we hang out with, watch Bama football every Saturday, and that's kind of our gang. And so we have several different ones of those. So do you have that, and what's going on in that circle? And listen, I'm not saying you should have a ton of friends. I'm simply saying just think of these groups that you have. And the third group would be kind of the crowd, right? So that's there's probably a better term, but by crowd, I mean your social media friends, right? That's kind of a broad spectrum. We call them friends, and we feel like they're friends because we kind of know what's going on in the world because we've seen their page and their post, and they've seen ours. But really, we don't interact on a person-to-person basis. That's kind of our crowd. I have a lot of old high school friends. Man, when we see them, we can pick right up, and feels like you've just been hanging out forever, but we don't see them very often, right? So you have that. Maybe your spouse has kind of a crew, and that's kind of part of your crowd. That's her crew. You're not necessarily in it, but you know those people, and you keep up with those people, and you care about those people. And so if I were to, I'm going to leave you alone in just a second, but I would say there's a couple of key things that ought to happen. One, you never want to be the smartest person in your inner circle. You just don't. You always want somebody in your inner circle a little further down the road than you. You also want in that inner circle that everyone comprehends and understands the golden rule, right? To do unto others as you would have them do unto you, that we treat each other like we want to be treated. And in that inner circle, these aren't the kind of people that should just be self-absorbed, and it always has to be about them. But there's this give and take, right? They know when to sit and listen, as well as you know when to sit and listen and when to talk. And so we just need to think through that. Here's what I found: to have good friends, you got to be a good friend, right? And for all the friendships that are worth having, a lot of times it takes some pursuit to get that friendship to the next level. You might have to work on that. So enough about that. I think this is a great conversation to have just to see where we are. Because don't you want to grow in the area of friendships? Don't you want that kind of relationship where you're walking through life with others that can carry you, can encourage you? We all need that because we're all this far from cracking up, every one of us. And so what we long for is to be known, to be understood, and to be loved anyway. That's what we're looking for. All right. So if you were going to rate your friendship status on a scale of 1 to 10, kind of having thought through what we've talked about today, where would you put yourself? I hope you've been keeping up with these. You can go through all of these issues, right? Go back and listen to some of these things because we've been talking about fitness and finance and field and faith and family, friends. Rate yourself. And maybe later on in the middle of the week, we'll put a wheel together and let you see kind of where you are. Where are you out of balance and what can we do to help you grow? All right. Man, I hope you guys have a great afternoon. I'm going to go watch The Chosen, I think, because we didn't see it last night. So I'm going to watch that last episode of that. Lord bless you guys. Have a great day. And Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow.